Good morning, Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race fans. It is April 25th, Thursday, and I'm up to date on stuff. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a recap. This is probably going to be titled a casual recap of Big Brother. We'll start with Big Brother because I'm almost off the Big Brother bandwagon. I have not watched an episode in over a week. Bad me. Yes, I have read what's up, but it's like it's such a, in my opinion, it's such a steamroll. It's such a just a boom. They're just doing it. That the pretty boys, there may be cracks in that alliance, but they just seem to be able to run it. Now, maybe someone will tweet me later today and go, "Oh no, it's changed this week," but I can't tell that it has. So, as a recap, again, I will read lots of spoilers. If you weren't up to date on Big Brother or Survivor or Amazing Race, then you should probably not listen to this, because I'm pretty much going to briefly comment on each show and what happened on last night's show or what's going on, like with Big Brother. So, Adam's head of household. He nominated Damian and Esty. Then Damian won the power veto, used the power veto, and Adam, in a bit of apparent payback for last week, put up Mark, at least that's how I read it, in Damian's place. So the pretty boys are putting each other up, and yet they're still going to get out. I'm guessing that it still must be a lock to get Esty out, and so she'll probably go next. So yeah, I mean they're just running it, and I don't know. I saw some people were rather disgusted with a challenge that apparently Damian had to do that involved his false teeth. Like, I think Esty put him in her mouth or something, and was that part of the competition, or was that just Damian being strange? I can't even remember now, but stuff about pretending to put it in batter and doing it was just very, like, okay, I don't know. It could have been other things. They could have come up with a different challenge, I guess. But maybe, and I'm not asking to be told this, but maybe Canadians just aren't as, like, squeamish about dentures, you know. Maybe they're just, and this is very stereotypical of me, maybe because of all the hockey playing goes on, there's so many more people that have teeth missing that they're just, like, used to this kind of stuff. I doubt it. But I don't know. I don't know what else to come up with, so there you go. So, I am unsure what I'm going to do as far as watching the rest of this season. The problem is I get spoiled now. I go on Twitter, I read one line, I know who's gone, and it's like, oh, well, why do I care about watching it now? Like, I think that Esty is probably going home tonight. I'm assuming there's an eviction tonight. But I'm not 100% sure. But in order for me to find out, I'm going to have to wait and watch the show on delay. And frankly, I'll be on the road tonight. We're driving back out to D.C. For an in-and-out visit to pick up my son. And so I don't know. I will be on the road, and that'll make it harder to watch. We'll see what happens. What else? Survivor last night. I watched it. I watched basically Survivor and Big Brother. I was doing things on my computer and just had it on, kind of look up and watch. I wasn't, watching everything that happened. I mean, sometimes you have to with Survivor, especially because of the closed captioning and the whispering that goes on. But it wasn't what's his name? Something Dog. Whatever his nickname is gone. What I'm trying to figure out with Survivor, again, casual fan here who hasn't done any side reading or any background or any rumors or anything, or hasn't discussed it with anybody. I'm trying to figure out when do they really think that's the jury? Do they really think that one of those people is going to have a chance to come back in? It seemed like they dropped the hint that when the first person came back, that somebody else is going to have a chance to come back. So, and isn't this a bigger than normal jury because only 2 people have left, right? It's all but 2 of the original people that have been on the show are still on the show. On Extinction Extinction Island, or whatever you want to call it. So, when is that going to happen? Is it going to be one person that gets a shot to come back in? Because to me, the longer they're out of the game, the less chance that everyone else is going to. I don't know. I'm just not sure. I did talk about this though, and I said, well, maybe the whole jury will vote for the person who was with them on Extinction Island, or whatever you call it, the longest. Who knows? The show's been all right. I just haven't, I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm not like, oh, they got to stay, or I hope they win. I'm just watching it. Which means I'll probably record their finale and watch it with the fast forward button pressed. And I'm not even sure when the finale is yet, but it's a few weeks away. So, that's Survivor. After that was Big Brother. Well, hey, I've got, not Big Brother, Amazing Race, but Big Brother's on it. So I've got it set on my DVR now, so I watched it. And for those of you that say, but wait, you cut the cable. I get CBS over the air, I get. So I still use my TiVo for CBS. I get ABC and NBC kind of iffy. And kind of iffy doesn't work in the digital world. Kind of iffy in the analog world was, it's kind of hard to see. There's a bit of snow, or kind of iffy on the digital world is, it keeps chopping up and cutting out, and just you can't watch it. You cannot watch bad reception HDTV. Yes. Anyways, so I watched Amazing Race, and we lost another team, obviously, and remember, spoiler alert, I'm revealing things. So Rupert and his wife are gone, and they had talk about a nice little bonus there. One of the things I do enjoy, because you can't tell, it's the one way that I can see how the editing plays in for the end of the show. So today's show, or last night's show, or last week's show, you knew it came down to Rupert's team, Rupert and his wife, and another Survivor team, and Rupert, they managed to win because the other team took a penalty. But it was like, how far back were they behind all the other teams? We knew there was a gap, but we didn't know how much. Turns out it was almost a 4-hour gap, I think. They were 4 hours behind the other teams. So those last 2 teams were way back. But on last night's show, they got an automatic catch-up because everybody else had to wait at the airport, and they gave them time to get to there in time. The airplanes don't seem to... Maybe it's just me, now that I'm thinking about this. The flying doesn't seem to play as big of a role as it used to. Maybe it's just me again, but I remember when they used to have to try to book flights. They had to book their own flights. And they had to... maybe they still do, but there would be times where people would choose one flight that would go this way versus one flight that would go that way, and we'd have scenes of people stuck in the airport, or, I made a bad choice, and, I'm stuck. And at least on the couple of seasons I've watched lately, I'm not seeing that anymore, of the airports and the flights playing a role in your place in the game. So... That's just a thought. Not a bad or a positive or a negative. Just yeah, that's true. What else? So they had a 4-hour. They got caught up, and then they got bogged down again at the end on the elephant, riding the elephant. It looked like Rupert got a bad elephant, but I don't know. But again, we don't. Well, the difference is that it seemed like Rupert was far back from everybody else in this. When I say far back, it could have been 15 minutes. I was surprised at how close everybody was this at the beginning of this episode. I didn't realize they all finished that close together. I mean, it was often like 10 minutes apart. It was boom, boom, boom. They all rolled in, and I know they all rolled in on last night's episode. So they're all going to start pretty much at the same time, almost. I think, or within I think an hour of each other. I think they'll all start. But that's actually one of the parts I really enjoy, is watching the times, the start times, because that tells you the finish times from the show from the week before. And I look at that and go like, oh, they totally misrepresented that. This person they dominated, or well, it was a lot closer than they or usually they don't. They always want to imply it's close. So it's the times where they imply it's close, and then you realize it was never close. Even a 10-minute difference isn't that close. Yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts. Covered all the shows. And with that, I'm parking my car. So there's your. I don't know if this. Did I do one early this week? I'm not even sure. This may be my only car cast this week. But fear not. For those of you that really like these, we are approaching Big Brother season US. Well, we're 2 months out. Less than 2 months. April 25th, June 25th. Hell, we'll be in Big Brother. So, gee, I can't believe that. I know I have a lot to do between now and June 25th. I have a lot on my plate, including, like I said, running to DC this weekend. Well, starting tonight. It's going to be a long weekend of driving. That's what it's going to be. Alrighty, folks. I'm parking my car. Hope you're all doing well. Have a good weekend, day, all of that stuff. I will talk at you later. Not anticipating doing another one of these until next week. So, have a good one. Adios. Thanks for your support. Those people that are still patrons and supporting this, even though I'm not doing a whole lot, do appreciate it. And I hope you all have a good one. I do have June. Oh. Yeah, I think in about 2 months I may be doing something. Ooh, that'll be a fun thing to talk about. I'll have a story for some of you within a couple months about other stuff. About something related to Big Brother, but something that I'm planning on doing. And I've said enough right there. It'll be a mystery. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye-bye.